understand the concept of customer now. So how we are going to understand customers? So for your product which you are going to develop, who are the customer? Who are the customer in need of your product? You have to understand that customer need. Okay, that is the topic regarding understanding customer. So few steps involved in understanding customer. Understanding customer ku edukku ma'am ivlo steps? It's not the easiest job to promote your product to the particular customer. It is not the easiest job that you all know. அதனால்தான் ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட்டை சோல்வ் பண்றதுக்குள்ள ஒவ்வொரு பிசினஸ் பீப்புளும் ரொம்ப டீடியஸான ஜாப் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஈவன் ஒரு அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்டா இருக்கட்டும், ஒரு ஆன்லைன்ல அவங்க ப்ரொமோட் பண்றதும், reaching some customer, it's a very difficult task. So under product design and development, they have assigned a particular topic called understanding customer, which involves 5 steps. Today we are only going to discuss the step 1, which consists of subheadings more. So step 1, first step is gather raw data from customer. How we are going to gather raw data from the customer? How to choose the customer who is really in need of your product. So choosing customer, some information we are going to learn today. The art of eliciting customer need data. Art of eliciting means, you all know, on the time when you are at the home, there will be a particular persons who are dealing with the sales of the product. They come to the houses, they promote their product, they tell the technical functions of the product, they try to sold the product to the customer. That is also one art. So what is that art of eliciting customer need data? Documenting interactions with customer. What are the method used to file up or document the whatever interaction been done with the customer and the salesperson, interviewer அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. So this is the first important step involved in understanding the customer. Just wait, students. Everybody is in the line. Godson, 56 members. அப்டேட் பண்றேன். எல்லா அட்டெண்டன்ஸும் முக்கியம்தான். What are the steps involved in understanding the customer? Step 1, gather raw data from customer. Choosing customer, the art of eliciting customer need data, documenting interaction with customer. At the end of this discussion of step 1, I'll show you a video where you have to understand what is really customer needs for a particular product. How you are going to understand the customer. Some information in that video. Understanding customer. First you have to define what is understanding customer, what is the meaning of that particular concept heading. So we have created a high quality information channel that runs directly between the customer in the target market and the developers of the product. So why we have to first understand the customer needs? It's because what is our target market? How we are going to promote our product to the market? And the developers of the product, whether the people who are full-fledged involved in developing the product, for them it will be benefit. This all shows the high quality information channel between the customer and the target market and the developers of the product. You are full-fledged involved in developing a particular product only if the customer buy your product. At the same time, if your product reach the target market, then you get the economically strong enough in your business. So understanding customer is not the easiest job. It creates a high quality information channel that runs directly between the customer in the target market and the developers of the product. Second point, it directly controls the details of the product. What really customer need? The detail is found in the product with respectful of the customer understanding. So who are the people involved directly to understand the customer? It is the engineers and the industrial designers who have to understand the customer's requirement, customer need in forming their technique in the product as well as design for that particular product. User friendly ah irundha customer vaanguvaanga. So these two peoples are mostly involved in understanding the customer, whereby they can interact with the customer and experience the use of environment of the product. So for example, in your particular product, what you have innovatively done, that consists of some technical factors, features in it. So the engineers and the industrial designer express their product, interact with the customer, make them to experience their product in their environment. So second point, it directly control the details of the product, and the two persons, engineers and industrial designers, directly interact with the customer to get experience with their product. The process of identifying the customer need is very important. It's a vital part, integral part, important part of a larger product development process. Any product you are going to start up, first you have to identify what is the customer need. Then only you will get a successful process to be completed at the end of the development. It's most closely related with. So understanding the customer is not a tedious, it is not a simple job that you all understood by these points. So it's closely related with what are the things? Concept generation. If the concept is being generated properly with respect to the customer need, then it can be moved to the concept selection process. Then compare with the competitive benchmark products, where we have to little bit meet their expectations of the competitive products. Then only we can satisfy the customer need. And establishment of product specifications. With respectful of the competitive product we take as a benchmark, we can establish our own innovative product with some specifications. So you know that flow, right? Only through these steps we can satisfy the customer as well as we'll get the successful product at the end. Very important points, key points you have to note down under the concept of understanding customer. Very important thing. It's high quality information channel between the customer, target to achieve the target market, and the developer of the product. The two persons are mostly involved in interacting the customer, the engineers and the industrial designers, to get the real-time experience of the product to the customer. Process of identifying customer needs is a very important part for any large product development process, where it's closely related with. So the process of identifying the customer needs is closely related with concept generation, concept selection, competitive benchmarks, and the establishment of product specification. Any doubt in this slide? Please reply. Any doubt, students? Okay, thank you. So as you all know, the first topic what we have started with, concept development process, which is acting as a front-end process, right? So what are the steps involved in that concept development process? We have to choose a mission statement for our project or product. Then you have to, first step is to identify the customer need. If you are not satisfying the customer need, then no use of developing that particular product where it is not going to achieve the target market. Identify the customer need. Then establish the target specification, general product concept. Why this diagram has been given here? Because for the customer need activity, which is closely related with these things, right? The previous slide we saw the last point. The process of identifying the customer needs is closely related to the concept generation, concept selection, competitive benchmark. Again, these steps are very important. The customer need activity in relation to the other concept development activities. So same follow-up, same diagram. If in the examinations, if they are asking the question, briefly describe about understanding the customer, you have to draw this diagram, explain the points under it. Needs are largely independent of any particular product. What do you mean by needs? Necessity. Customer is in demand of this product now in this stage. Other needs. Necessity irukkumbodhu dhaan large independency of any particular products are promoted. We might develop and they are not specified to the concept we eventually choose to pursue. We have to follow accordingly. We have to hunt what the customer need is for in nowadays. So that is called as independent of any particular product you're going to think of. It depends on purely the concept, the need, necessity. If it is not, your product is not satisfying the need, then you have to go for it. You have to follow, you have to hunt for it. You have to do more analysis to understand the customer. A team should be able to identify the customer need. So there should be a separate team put for identifying the customer need. without knowing if and how it will be eventually address those necessity. Who are the customer in demand of our product now? You have to identify a team have to be organized for it. On the other hand, specification do demand on the concept we select. According to the concept, the customer specifications can be satisfied. So these are the things you have to analyze at the beginning itself. Specifications for the product we finally choose to develop will depend on what technically means strictly we focus on according to the fact. Okay, economically means in the way that relate to the economy, financial, it will be feasible. The customer who we are going to choose, whether they will surely spend money for buying our product, all those things should be identified in this stage. Try to understand. You have to also implement some technical, strictly go for some fact involved inside the product. Economically feasible, whether the customer will be strong enough to buy our product. Those things have to be identified. On what our competitors offer in the marketplace as well as on the customer needs. You have to compare with the competitor's product and with the customer need to specify the specifications for your own product. You know what is the specifications meant for. Compare with the competitive products. Put a checklist. Okay, then only you can satisfy few specifications for your own products. Adan last time வந்து Ola simple one அது மாதிரி ஒரு 3 electric motors they have done a competitive analysis for that product to little bit satisfy their specifications for their own products. So like that you have to analyze, whereby you can understand the customer in that. Identifying customer need is itself a process. It's a separate process involved for identifying the customer. What is 5 steps method? First step alone we are going to discuss today. Gather raw data from customer. Till now we have understood what is the real meaning of why we have to give more importance in understanding the customer. That points were discussed till now. And you have to understand the flow of concept development process, which is closely related with the understanding customer. Next we'll go for the first step involves in gather raw data for customer. Gathering data involves, try to understand, gathering data involves contact with the customer, experience with the use environment of the product. இப்போ நிறைய இடத்துல வந்து நீங்கள் வீட்லேயே இருப்பீங்க, some சேல்ஸ் பர்சன்ஸ் ஆஃப் தட் பர்டிகுலர் கம்பெனி. அப்போல்லாம் வேக்யூம் கிளீனர்லாம் டைரெக்டாக வந்து டெமோ காமிச்சிட்டு கஸ்டமர்ஸை சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணி அந்த ப்ராடக்டை வாங்க சொல்லுவாங்க. அது மாதிரி நிறைய ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் வந்து இந்த யூசேஜை டைரெக்டாக கஸ்டமர்ஸ் கிட்ட போயிட்டு ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணி they will try to buy our products. So gathering data involves contact with the customers and experience with the use environment of the product. So there are 3 methods involved for gathering raw data from customer. Interviews. இப்போ சர்வீஸ்லாம் இருக்குது. இப்போ ஏர்டெல், ஏர்செல், அது ஐ மீன் ஏர்டெல், வோடஃபோன், அந்த மாதிரி சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைடர்ஸை அவங்களோட ப்ராடக்ட்ஸோட யூசேஜ், டேட்டா யூசேஜோட பெனிஃபிஷியல் வந்து ஒரு கால் மூலமாக அவங்க அந்த கஸ்டமர்ஸ் கிட்ட சொல்லுவாங்க. சம் டைரக்ட் இன்டர்வியூஸ் மேட் த்ரூ ஆன்லைன் ஆர் ஆஃப்லைன். One or more development team members will be involved for that discuss need with a single customer. டைரக்டா ஒரு பெஸ்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இப்போ நம்ம காலேஜ் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸை பற்றி நம்ம ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணாதான் அட்மிஷன்ஸ் வரும். ஸோ ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி தே மேக் the telecalling, they promote the details about our college, the value added courses promoted, what are the project being sanctioned, and what are the facility infrastructure, everything we are directly choosing a particular single customer, telling the deal about our institution. I mean deal in the sense all the information about our institution. Similarly is followed in any of the business strategy. Okay, one or more development team members will be involved for that discuss needs with a single customer. What is their need, whether those needs are being fulfilled in this institution. அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி தான் நம்ம பேசணும். எடுத்தோடனே நம்ம இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் பற்றி நம்ம நாலேஜ் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் பற்றி சொன்னால் கூட அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு நீட் வேணும். இந்த மாதிரி ஃபெசிலிட்டி இருக்கா, அவங்க வந்து நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்பாங்க. should be specified through the interviews. Interviews are usually conducted in the customer's environment and typically 1 to 2 hours. They can ask whether this technique is used for your product, whether it will be benefit for our remote area. All those things will be clarified through this interview process. So this is the first step involved. 3 methods la first method interviews. 3 methods first interviews, focus group, observing the product in use. The first one is one or more development team members discuss with the single customer. Interviews are usually conducted in the customer environment or typically last for 1 or 2 hours. They ask more questions, they clarify more doubts regarding your products through interviews. Focus group, simple. You would have heard about this Amway products or now any products have to be promoted to some set of customers. They put a meeting schedule. They come to the particular company, attend those meetings, get clarified fully about the products. That is also involved in gather raw data from the customer. So a moderator facilitate. There will be a particular person involved for organizing that meeting. It can be for 2 hours discussions with a group of 8 to 12 customers. Focus groups are typically conducted in a special room equipped with a 2-way mirror, allowing several members of the development team to observe the group. So some demo sessions will be conducted. Those details will be viewed to the customer of this 8 to 12. Okay, this type of arrangements also is done. That's called as focus group. These are the method followed for gather raw data from the customer. Last method is observing the product in use. Watching customer use an existing product. For example, if you being the interviewer or who are the member for promoting your product, you wait for a particular customer to use the existing product. If they are feeling difficult in using the existing product, thereby you can promote your comfortableness of your product to that particular customer. நிறைய ஆட்ல அப்படி பார்த்தா ஒரு ஓல்டு எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ப்ராடக்ட் யூஸ் பண்றதால அவங்க வந்து ரொம்ப சம் டயர்ட் ஆகுறாங்க. இட்ஸ் நாட் கம்ஃபர்டபுள் ஃபார் தெம். தென் தே ப்ரொமோட் த நியூ ப்ராடக்ட். This is also another way of gathering raw data for the customer. So watching customer use an existing product or perform a task for which a new product is intended can reveal important details about customer needs. For example, so customer painting a house. When a particular person who are well known about driving screws, okay, can promote their own product. When they see that customer is feeling difficult by using a screwdriver to open a paint cans. So the normal screwdrivers உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். I'll just show them images that you can understand well. So normal screwdrivers, you know, we have to use our own hand for removing the nail or punching the nail, whatever may be. But what is called as driving driving is something different. If you just hold that particular instrument, okay, a product in your hand, it automatically insert the nail or it can remove the nail. So this is something advanced product when compared to the normal screwdrivers. So this is how they promote their own product to the customer. I hope you don't have any doubt. So customer painting house may use screwdrivers to open the paint can in addition to driving screws. So team members observe the product in the actual use of environment. They feel the difficulty felt by the customer, then it can promote about the driving screws. This is called as observing the product in use. Any doubt till now, students? The 3 methods followed in gathering the raw data from customer. Please reply.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next, very important topic, choosing customer. Okay, now this particular topic is mainly dealing with gathering data, gather raw data. Choosing customer. Necessity can be identified. Who need to buy the product? Need can be identified more effectively by interviewing the lead users and extreme users. Who are the extreme users? You can here at the last point you can understand customer selection matrix can be put. each and every business people, organizations or company used to frame this selection matrix, customer selection matrix. I'll show what is that customer selection matrix. So by framing this matrix tabular column, you can find out who are the real customer who are in need of our product, who are the lead users, who are the esteemed users. Okay. So the choice of which the customer to interview is complicated when several different groups of peoples can be considered as customer. Customers அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா you can say a male or female or child or a young people or old peoples. நிறைய customers இருப்பாங்க இல்லையா, நிறைய ஸ்டேஜஸ், ஜெண்டர்ஸ் எல்லாமே வந்து கலந்தது தான் கஸ்டமர் சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ ஃபார் மெனி ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் ஒன் பர்சன் வில் பி த பையர் அண்ட் make the buying decisions and another persons will be the user. For example, உங்க வீட்டில் வந்து the main usage of smartphone is the students. இப்போ நீங்கள் வந்து daughter and son or independent on the smartphone usage, but who are the buyer for you? The parent. So for many of the product, if you see, there will be a particular person who is going to buy, making the buying decisions, whether இவங்களுக்கு வாங்கி தரலாமா வேண்டாமா, whether this product will be useful for my son or daughter அப்படின்னு அனலைஸ் பண்றவங்க தான் the buyer. Okay, decisions taking. And another persons will be the user. The real user is you the people, actually they use the product. So a good approach is to gather data from the end user of the product. So நம்ம being the business people or who are going to involved in developing the product, they have to focus on the user point of view. Okay, whether it will be comfortable for them, whether they will like our product and promote to 2 or 3 customers. Like that, our focus should be of those user customer. So a good approach is to gather data from the end user of the product in all situations. In case whether other types of customers or stakeholders are clearly important, even though these customers also is very important for us, but main focus should be who the actual end user products. To gather data from these people as well. So you have to analyze who are the buyer, who are the real users, and accordingly you have to choose the customer. I hope you are able to understand these key points. And you have to know what is customer selection matrix. It's useful for planning explorations of both market and customer variety. I'll just show one example before going for the next point. What is customer selection matrix? Customer selection matrix is this. Okay, this is a customer selection matrix. See, customer selection matrix is like identifying there will be many customer involved in environment. So we have to identify who are the homeowners occasionally using our product, who are handy persons frequently using our product, who are the professionals heavy duty usage of our product. So you have to classify those things, those customer, and who are the lead users, who are the users and retails and sales outlet. With these people we can extend our sales. So you have to identify who are the service centers used. Okay, so this is how the customer selection matrix is framed for any type of product development startup. Okay, many examples given here, just a sample thing I have shown you. Okay, so this mainly to identify who are the real customers who are going to involve the real users. Frequently users வந்து ஒரு 10 members. ஸோ அவங்கள நம்ம ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணி ப்ராடக்ட்டை சேல் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கணும், ப்ரொமோட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கணும். So it's useful for planning explorations of both market and customer variety. Customer selection matrix. Next, try to understand the flow. We are dealing with step 1 process under understanding the customer need. Step 1, gather raw data from customer. There are 3 methods involved, that is interview, focus groups, observing the product in use. Now under choosing customer, we have discussed some few points. Next is the art of eliciting customers' need data. Not all people can satisfy the customer need. கஸ்டமர் வந்து உடனே வாங்க சொல்லவே முடியாது. There is that art of eliciting that all the people have to have who are dealing with the sales process. So gathering need data is very difficult from the sales call. நம்மளுக்கு வந்தாவே நம்ம மோஸ்டா இரிட்டேட் ஆகும் இல்லையா? அவங்க என்ன சொல்ல வராங்க கூட மோஸ்டா நம்ம வந்து லிசன் பண்ண மாட்டோம். பட் ஃபார் அவர் பெனிஃபிட் ஒன்லி தே வில் ப்ரோமோட் த ப்ராடக்ட் டீடைல்ஸ். ஸோ இன் தட் கேஸ் தட் ஆல்சோ இஸ் அன் ஆர்ட் டு பி ஃபாலோட் டு ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் த கஸ்டமர் நீட் டேட்டா. ஸோ த கோல் இஸ் டு எலிசிட். வாட் டு யூ மீன் பை எலிசிட்? Draw out or extract the real need of the customer. So the goal is to elicit an honest expressions of needs. சும்மா நமக்கு இஷ்டம் போல நம்ம ப்ரோமோட் பண்ண முடியாது. ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ்ல இல்லாத ஃபீச்சர்ஸை நம்ம சொல்லக்கூடாது. So that is called as honest expressions of need. Really customer need என்ன, whether that particular need has been satisfied with the product, that should be honestly said to the customer. Then only they will have a good thinking of our product, good approach. Okay, we can buy the product. They are very much truthful in explaining the product. Technical எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. வரைக்கும் எதுவுமே அடிஷ்னலா which is not involved inside the product feature நம்ம சொல்லக்கூடாது. So not to convince a customer of what he or she needs. Okay, it should be honest expressions. In most case customer interactions will be verbal. Mostly வந்து நம்ம demo sessions or any other practical session of the product to be promoted, we will normally talk to the customer. First we have to make the customer understand our product. So interview, ask questions and the customer have to respond, like whether you are feeling difficult from the existing product. Those things will be kept in mind and this our product can fulfill your need அப்படின்னு நிறைய questions கேட்டு அவங்களோட நீட்ஸை வந்து நம்ம அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி நம்ம பேசணும். ஸோ த ஆர்ட் ஆஃப் எலிசிட்டிங் கஸ்டமர் நீட் டேட்டா இஸ் தட். ஸோ ஹியர் ஆர் சம் ஜென்ரல் ஹிண்ட் ஃபார் எஃபெக்டிவ் இன்ட்ராக்ஷன்ஸ் வித் கஸ்டமர். ஓகே, த ஆர்ட் ஆஃப் எலிசிட்டிங் கஸ்டமர் நீட்ஸுக்கு வாட் ஆர் த effective hint you have to follow? Effective interaction with the customer, what is the follow-up? Some points have been given for us. Go with the flow. First point is go with the flow. Try to understand, students, these subheadings comes under the art of eliciting customer need data. So go with the flow, then use virtual stimuli and pros, suppress preconceived hypothesis about the product technology, have the customer demonstrate the product or typically task related to the product, be alert for surprises and the expressions of latent needs, watch for non-verbal information. இதை பார்த்தோன்னா ரொம்ப கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆகாதீங்க. இந்த சைட் ஹெடிங்ஸ் மட்டும் தரவா பார்த்துக்கோங்க. இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஆல்ரெடி தெரிஞ்சது தான். ஸோ சம் ஹிண்ட் டு பி ஃபாலோட் டு ஹாவ் அ எஃபெக்டிவ் இன்ட்ராக்ஷன் வித் த கஸ்டமர். வெரி சிம்பிள். கோ வித் த ஃப்ளோ. When the customer is asking whether this is my need, whether this product will fulfill my need, அப்படின்னு அவங்க ஒரு ஃப்ளோவில் அவங்க எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணும்போது you have to try to understand what the real customer need. So if the customer is providing useful information, do not worry about conforming to the interview guide. Like you have to know இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ்லாம் வரும். So you have to first listen to the customer. If they are giving some useful information, you have to understand. Do not worry about conforming. Conforming means just satisfying their needs. ஸோ எடுத்தோடனே நம்ம எல்லா ப்ராடக்ட்டும் அவங்களோட கஸ்டமரோட நீட்ஸை சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ இன் பிட்வீன் இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. லெட் தே ஜஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் தேர் ஹோல் நீட். வாட் எவர் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் தே ஆர் கிவிங் to us, first we have to understand. The goal is to gather information data on customer need, not to complete the interview guide in the allotted time. If some customer is taking 1 or 2 time in explaining their needs, try to patiently listen to them and you should not focus on completing or sending the customer. இப்போ நிறைய இடத்துல அதுதான் நடக்கும். சில கஸ்டமர்ஸ்லாம் வந்து உட்காந்து பேசுனா எனக்கு இது வேணும். ஏன் சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சே அட்மிஷன் ப்ராசஸ்ல சில கஸ்டமர்ஸ் வந்து அவங்களோட நீட சீக்கிரமா சொல்லிட்டு இது மாதிரி ஃபெசிலிட்டி இருக்கா, என்ன பெனிஃபிட் உங்க காலேஜ்ல படிக்கிறதால, அது மாதிரி சில கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்டு நம்ம அதை ஆன்சர் பண்ணிட்டா சில கஸ்டமர்ஸ் அதை லெஃப்ட் அவுட் ஆயிருவாங்க. பட் சில ஐ மீன் ஹியர் யூ ஹாவ் டு திங்க் தட் கஸ்டமர் இஸ் த பேரண்ட். ஓகே, சில பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப டீட்டெயில்டா கேட்பாங்க. சரி, ஏஐடிஎஸ் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, வாட் ஆர் த ஃபெசிலிட்டி லேப் யூ ஹேவ் ப்ரொவைடிங், வாட் இஸ் த டிஃபரன்ஸ் பிட்வீன் திஸ் திஸ் காலேஜ் அண்ட் யுவர் காலேஜ், அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்பாங்க. அவங்க ஃப்ளோல விடணும். ஈவன் இட் இஸ் டேக்கிங் 1 hour 2 hour, we have to sit and explain their needs. Okay, that is called as go with the flow. ஓகே, டோன்ட் ஜஸ்ட் ஃபோக்கஸிங் ஆன் கம்ப்ளீட்டிங். ஓகே, இவங்களை எப்படி அவாய்ட் பண்ணும். சில கஸ்டமர் வந்து அவங்களோட ஃபுல் நீட்ஸை ஃபுல்லாக சொல்லி அதை நம்ம சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணுற வரைக்கும் தான் அவங்க வந்து அவங்க இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸை கேட்டுகிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. ஃபுல்ஃபில் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கணும் அவங்களுக்கு. லைக் ஃபீஸ் டீட்டெயில்ஸ், ஃபீஸ் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ், என்னென்ன ஸ்காலர்ஷிப்ஸ் உங்கள் காலேஜில் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணுறாங்க, அந்த ஸ்காலர்ஷிப் வந்து எங்கள் கேட்டகரிக்கு வருமா, அது மாதிரி நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்கும்போது வி ஷுட் பேஷண்ட்லி லிசன் டு தட், கோ வித் த ஃப்ளோ. சேம் கான்செப்ட் இஸ் யூஸ் ஃபார் எனி ப்ராடக்ட் ப்ரொமோட்டிங் திங். Use visual stimuli and pros, meaning bring a collection of existing and competitive products. விஷுவலா வந்து நீங்க காமிக்க வேண்டியதா இருக்கும். சில லைக் see our product will closely relate with the specification mentioned with the Apple company or Samsung company. அது அந்த எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ப்ராடக்ட்டை வச்சு நீங்க கம்பேர் பண்ணி கூட நீங்க எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணலாம். அதோட ஃபீச்சர்ஸை வச்சு டீடைல்ஸை வச்சு கூட நீங்க எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, பட் that only you have to follow. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எடுத்தோடனே should be honest in expressing the needs. Whatever specification you are mentioning with your product to the customer, everything should be in a honest expressions. அடிஷ்னலா எதுவுமே இல்லாததை நம்ம சொல்லவே கூடாது. Then our product will be in trouble for not product, our company's name will be in trouble. So you have to keep those things in mind. So bringing a collection of existing and competitive products, even products that are tangentially related to the product under development. Tangentially means in the way that relate only slightly to the matter. For example, in the enga product வந்து இவ்வளவு additional features we have added which is not present in the competitive products, but most of the standard parts and standard features are being followed from the Samsung. அதையும் நீங்க வந்து அப்படி ப்ரோமோட் பண்ணலாம். So like that. So at the end of the sessions, the interview might even show some preliminary products concept to get customers early reactions to various approaches. சில கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆகலாம். அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ப்ராடக்டோட சாம்பிள் ரன் பண்ணி காமிச்சா அவங்க அதுக்கு கரெக்டான ரியாக்ஷன்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்க. அது கொஞ்சம் ஸ்டெப் எடுப்பாங்க வாங்கறதுக்குன்னா யூ ஹாவ் டு டூ தட். Some preliminary products concept, show the demo session for that particular customer and get the various approaches from them. Suppress preconceived hypothesis about the product technology. What do you mean by suppress? Defeat, conquer. You have to conquer the customer. So frequently customer will make assumption about the product concept. They expect would meet their needs. Okay, some technology which has been updated nowadays have been used in your product. That is how you can conquer the customer. Conquer na ungoda mind setup நம்ம read out பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். So in this situation the interview should avoid biasing the discussion. What do you mean by biasing? Pre-justify கொடுக்க கூடாது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஓகே, we have to conquerனா கஸ்டமரோட நீட்ஸை அவங்க வேலையே விட்டு அவங்க அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும். இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது, டாமினேட் பண்ணக்கூடாது, இட் இஸ் நாட் பாசிபிள்னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இஃப் த கஸ்டமர் இஸ் கிவிங் தேர் நீட்ஸ்னா ஓகே சார் வி வில் சம் அவுட் ஃபில்ஃபில் யுவர் நீட்ஸ், பட் திஸ் இஸ் நாட், இட் இஸ் இம்பாசிபிள். அந்த சொல்ற விதம் கூட தட் ஷுட் நாட் அஃபெக்ட் த conversation with the assumption about how the product will eventually be designed and produced. So overall ஒரு ஐடியா கொடுத்துடணும் கஸ்டமருக்கு. அவங்க இமேஜின் பண்ற மாதிரி the design will be like that. So how much of knowledge you have to gain with the product, that is in the hand of the interviewers. So suppress preconceived hypothesis about the product technology. What are the details about our product? What is the technology used about our product? You have to have all the details learned for your product to promote to the customer. So frequently the customer then only will understand what is the product is really about. So that is how you have to conquest. Suppress na defeat the customer, not by just avoiding the biasing the discussions. Illa sir, it is impossible, it is not possible, illa edhum avangala vandu pesakudadu when you are communicating with the customer. So this is the points you have to remember. When customer mentions specific technologies or product features, whether your product will satisfy this technology, I need this features to be added to your product அப்படினா அவங்க கஸ்டமர் வந்து ஸ்பெசிஃபை பண்றாங்கன்னா the interviewer should probனா examine with the hands, experience with the thing what has been informed by the customer. For the underlying need, the customer believes that suggestion solutions would satisfy. So okay sir, you have asked to inbuilt with this technology, you have asked with this product features. Okay, we'll take your suggestions, we'll take step for it. அது மாதிரி நீங்க வந்து approach should be in such a way. Okay, you have to satisfy the customer needs. Believe that you will surely use the specifications mentioned by the customer. So the conversation should be in such a way. And last few points before, have the customer demonstrate the product, typically task related to the product. Do some demonstration session, reveal the information what customer needs from your product. Show some practical session. So if the interview is conducted in the use of environmentally or customers kita pesreenga, you show a demo session of your product where that designing and engineering technique used in the product will be satisfied with the customer. That reveals some new information which is not present in the existing product. Can be done. Be alert for surprises and expressions of latent needs. So you being an interviewer of particular customer, you will face some surprising event. For example, சில கஸ்டமர் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராடக்ட்ஸுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஃபீச்சர்ஸ் கொண்டு வந்தாங்க, ஏன் உங்க ப்ராடக்ட்ல அது மாதிரி இல்லை அப்படின்னு அவங்க ஒரு டிமோட்டிவேட் பண்ற மாதிரியும் சில இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை பாஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. They will talk when they are doing the customization, so that you have to be alert. You should be ready in facing those conversation. Okay, lead with the follow up questions. இதெல்லாம் questions கேட்கறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஒரு மீட்டிங்க்கு ரெடி ஆகுறாங்க, இதெல்லாம் கேட்கறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கு, இதுக்கெல்லாம் நம்ம ரெடியா இருக்கணும். அது வந்து நம்மள ஷாக் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி இருக்கக்கூடாது. Interviewer should keep these things in mind. So frequently and unexpected lines of questions will reveal latent needs. What do you mean by latent needs? Inactive, unexpressed. Okay, important dimensions of the customer needs that are neither fulfilled nor commonly anticipated and understood. So you can't judge any of the customer. Okay, நான் அவங்க வந்து ஆரம்பத்துல பார்த்தா நல்லா பேசிட்டு இருப்பாங்க during the conversation, then suddenly they will ask some specification to be mentioned which is not possible. So you have to understand, no sir, with this hardware architecture you can't build this அப்படின்னு நீங்க எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணும். At the same time they can ask some tedious questions also. What benefit or how you can put this rate for this particular product, you have not used, it is not equally with the Samsung இல்லையா, அது மாதிரி அவங்க நம்மளுக்கு நிறைய அன்எக்ஸ்பெக்டட் லைன்ஸ் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து அவங்க வந்து ரைஸ் பண்றதுக்கு நிறைய சான்சஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ யூ ஷுட் ஆல்வேஸ் பி ரெடி ஃபார் தீஸ் திங்ஸ். Pursue means you have to be ready. Okay, with some surprising questions. Watch for non-verbal information. The process described in this chapter is aimed at developing better physical products. So all the company people, all the stakeholders are focusing on only developing a better physical product. So in that case, watch for non-verbal informations. Unfortunately, words are not always the best way to communicate needs. Okay, you can just promote about your product in some way to the customer, but it is not 100% fulfilled to the customer, correct? So that is the point they have told. Watch for non-verbal information. So best way to communicate needs related to the physical world. Only when the customer have made use of your product, then automatically they can understand that this particular product has been satisfied their needs. So watch for non-verbal information also. Make them to use your product. So these are the points where you have to satisfy the customer need data. The art of eliciting, few points discussed. And what are the hint you have to follow to do some effective interaction with the customer? Go with the flow, use virtual stimuli and pros, suppress preconceived hypothesis about the product technology, have the customer demonstrate the product or typical task related to the product, be alert for surprises and expressions of latent needs, watch for non-verbal informations. And last is, this are the particular true of needs involving the human dimensions of the product. They are comfortable, the image and style. We have to focus on these things, then only we will satisfy the customer need. The development team must constantly aware of the non-verbal messages provided by the customer. Some customers, if they will not be satisfied just by the details we are giving about the product or they need some demonstrations to be performed in front of them. So what are their facial expressions? Whether in each and every conversation between an interviewer and the customer, there will be many face expressions means so they can understand our product properly, or sometimes they would have some doubts that can be shown in their faces. Those things have to be understood by the interviewer. How do they hold the competitive products? How much they hold now? Surely they will compare with the competitive products, then only they will understand whether the competitive products or the features and specifications are closely related to our new products. So they will always hold the competitive products in their mind. So these are the things you have to keep in mind when you are understanding or doing some effective interactions between the customers. Any doubts till now, students? Kindly reply. Please reply.
No, ma'am.
And last topic, documenting interactions with the customer. Okay, you being working in a company, okay, you can act as a team to understand the customer and the teamல நீங்க work பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கலாம். So what are the things have to be organized for documenting the interactions with customer? So 4 methods are used, very simple: audio recording, notes, text, video recording, still photographs. That's it. So very simple, documenting interactions. Documenting na filing up the conversation between the customer and the interviewers. How to எதுக்கு அதெல்லாம் இது பண்ணணும், எதுக்கு டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணணும்? Because there only you can understand what is the specification given to the customer, to the company. Customer-oda needs என்னன்னு நம்ம understand பண்ண முடியும். Then further you can start developing your product. So 4 methods are commonly used for documenting interactions with customers. First one is audio recording. On those days they were making an audio recording of an interview is very easy because all the points cannot be noted. So they do some audio recording. Then they, after the interview is over within the customer and the interviewer, they will sit and analyze those audio recording. But what difficulty they felt is the test, making that audio recording to a particular text is very time consuming. Hiring someone to do it can also expensive. There will be a particular person who are involved for doing this audio recording and getting the notes from that audio recording and then documenting the interaction with the customer. So we have to spend money for those peoples also. So they felt this is a disadvantage of being intimidating to some customers. Okay, not all the details inside that audio is been recorded, so some mismatch has been done. So customer is not fully involved in proper communication with the team members as well as to them. Okay, there's some drawbacks felt here. Then they followed another method called notes. Handwritten notes are the most common method of documenting an interview. So designating, they assign a particular person who is acting as a primary note taker. That persons have to concentrate on effective questioning. Whatever question has been raised to the interviewer from the customer point of view, that note taker will capture some of the wordings of every customer statement verbatim, and these notes, if transcribed immediately after the interviewer, can be used to create descriptions of the interviewer and very close to the actual transcript. So they just converted the conversation into words here. Okay, and those minutes of meetings, like okay, those points have been shared to the customer as well as the interviewer for further product process. Video recording when they organize some 2 or 3 hours meeting of from 8 to 12 customers, focus group sessions. They followed this method, video recording. The documents are observed, documenting observations of the customer in the use environment. For example, they have recorded some video of some customer who are using the existing product. What are the drawbacks they have found that can be rectified with the current new products? So these steps are being involved. You have to understand these are all done for documenting the interaction with the customer. So the video recording is useful for bringing a new team members up to speed and also use the raw materials for presentation to upper management. For example, if an upper management peoples are not able to attend some meetings regarding the interviewer and the customer, these videos can be sent to the particular upper management to analyze what is the real drawback felt by the customer when they are using the existing product. That way they can take step for the current new products. This method is useful for it. Capturing many aspects of the end user environment. Video recording. Still photographs. Taking photographs provides many of the benefit of video recording, but is usually less intrusive, right? When compared to video, photographs cannot explain about the many drawbacks felt in existing product. So observing customer in the field, just for article purpose, we can make use of this photograph. Additional advantage of still photograph for easy to display of photos, existing image quality and reliability available equipment. For that purpose, they made use of this method for documenting the interaction between the customer. The primary disadvantage of the still photographing is relative inability to record dynamic information. If particular persons are using the product visually, that cannot be fully detailedly observed using this still photography. So some drawbacks also follow. So according to the convenience of the customer and to each and every company follow these methods in documenting the interactions with the customer. 4 methods are audio recording, notes, video recording, still photography. Okay, just watch this video. Can you hear the sound? Yes or no? Please reply. Reply, students, or else I share the link. Okay, you go through that now itself. Say yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, I have shared the link in the group, class group. Click on it and follow. Have you got that link in the class group? Reply yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now we'll follow. Got an idea about how to identify the customer? Please reply. What is the product there promoted for you? Please reply. Can you hear me? What was the product there shown to you all? Reply, students. Are you all in the link? என்ன ப்ராடக்ட் அங்க ப்ரோமோட் பண்ணாங்க பர்டிகுலர் விமன்? ஐயோ, biogas bag, right? So this is that particular bag. Are you all listening, students? Kindly reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So try to again replay this video and see. So this is biogas, how it look like, biogas bag. They have to promote this particular product to the customer. So that particular person, how he's been analyzing each stages, okay, to promote the product. Okay, what is the target market? Okay, to which people it goes, like village or urban or rural. You have to identify whether it will be helpful for the male or female. Okay, so mostly it can be used for cooking purpose. So cooking means, and in some places where there's no electricity, you can go for this product. So the particular women has been identifying these things, analyzing these things, then identify that female is in need of during their cookings. So identify a particular person and give that customer a name, and what that particular customer will think about our product, what he will say when we promote our product, what he see in her perspective, do feel, everything will be analyzed, whether that particular person is how she is cooking, it's without any of gas, like with this tricks like that. Then health issue of the particular customer, and whether financially he is buy our product. All the things is analyzed. And another thing, whether this particular person will focus on buying a cell phone or our product. It's a maximum probability for that. Everything should be analyzed when you go for promoting a product to that particular customer. Okay. Then at last, after identifying, we have to make this customer to buy the biogas bag when compared to the cell phone. We have to satisfy their needs. And they put many questions like that, all those procedure. Got an idea about understanding customer, students? Kindly reply. Say yes or no. Reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Jay Surya, send our absentees list.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students, you can leave the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for patiently listening. Thank you. You can leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.